Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Return of Whatever. I'm Herbert Midgley.
I'm Daniel Nelson.
And I'm Pete Dedia.
And here we are during Super Bowl week. Does anybody even know who's in the Super Bowl this week, this year?
I have no idea.
I haven't a clue. Pete?
Wow, we are really geeky people. I believe it's the Steelers and crap.
Golly.
Usually would know the other one, but you know what? Beauty of Google. We can look that up.
Well, I'll be honest with you. In the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, something like that, I've watched maybe 1 or 2 games. I just the last few years I watched 0 professional sports games pretty much. I support I try to go to the SFA games if I can. I just happily or sadly I just don't have time to deal with professional sports because we're doing podcasting.
Yeah, well, you know, we're podcasters. We aren't sports aficionados or newscasters.
Well,
right?
Amit, I know this week you kind of want to talk a little bit about how phones and smartphones are used in education, and when we're going to have you started off.
Well, I actually just we've got a couple big things that were announced in the last couple weeks around different smartphones and such, and I thought, you know, this would be a good episode to talk about how smartphones are getting out there in the educational communities. I personally have my trusty iPhone, which I'm currently tweaking on to get our Twitter
Blackberry.
following to follow us.
Blackberry.
Dan's got his Crackberry, and Herb.
I got my iPod Touch, but it's too far away to go get. But you pretend I'm holding an iPod Touch.
Yeah, but on top of that, I mean, in the news we've heard about the BlackBerry Storm coming out and having its weird issues, and then now the new Palm Pre, which is supposed to be the big iPhone threat.
Yeah, I've also heard that. I couldn't find out if this is official or not, but supposedly people are working on getting Android to run on the Pre as well.
Oh wow.
Well, you know, I actually did test drive an Android phone a couple of months ago, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, in my opinion. I love Google, I love most of the software, but it's not nearly as intuitive as the iPhone is. And I'm hoping it gets better, though. Let's hope it gets better.
Well, I mean, the only thing about the iPhone I wish it had, and maybe you do wish it had it as well, is that copy and paste function. I still can't believe it didn't have that.
Doesn't have which function?
Copy and paste.
You know, the copy and paste idea, I mean, I can understand why people are aggravated by that, but I can also understand why it's not really needed, because you don't use, I mean, this isn't a computer replacement, right? This is something you can use to check your email and do a couple other apps with it.
Well, man, I think back in my 1998 Newton, I could copy and paste, I think. I need to pull my Newton out someday and show you the. Y'all think your phones are bad? That's like a Frankenstein phone, man. It feels like in 2 hands.
Well, one thing though is that, like, you know, iPhones, a lot of these other phones that are out today are actually probably more powerful than, like, you know, the 8088s that a lot of us started on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, this device right here has got a 500 megahertz processor. So, and the battery life is, you know, like close to 8 hours or so. You get like 4 or 5 hours of constant use on the internet.
But when we were all doing LAN parties and stuff like that, I mean, when we were hanging out, I mean, I guess if you had a 500 megahertz machine, that was actually pretty good back in the day, back when we were hanging out at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I remember many LAN parties where we had to Frankenstein so many 500 megahertz class boxes together. But let's get back onto the topic of smartphones. I just wanted to put out there, you guys are both in the education industry. From a student perspective, I know that a lot of people are using them for keeping up with their different web portals on the different campuses. Have you guys seen much of that in your environments?
Facebook,
What about you,
MySpace.
Dan?
Yeah. Not. I've heard like rumors basically, or things coming down the pike. I I know that like Blackboard has looked a little bit at like developing various APIs for integrating stuff. For example, they already have a Facebook integrator that's out there. Most this is
Mhm.
mostly for the actual Blackboard software. In fact, I think we do a cast on it. I don't remember. Um,
We do so
I don't
many,
know.
Dan.
If
but
you
it
did,
was
it
a
would have been with, without
they
me.
have
But
one. It and it can actually like link into the Blackboard product, not the Blackboard Vista product, um, which came from the WebCT world. And I kind of see that as being like, in fact, if I remember right, Michael Chasen, the CEO of Blackboard, mentioned that in one of his keynotes, and I kind of feel like it's not out yet, but probably for the NG product, they're probably going to be working on some APIs for communicating for things like the iPhone and other web apps and more close integration with like Facebook and things like that.
Well, you know, I, I think we talked about it off the cast one time, Dan, about the Facebook integration and whatnot, and basically for the some of the environments, I can see it. You're checking some stuff, but I don't see anybody ever taking a test on an iPhone really.
No, no, but it would be nice to say have automatically send updates to say like when your professor uploads a new assignment or creates an announcement
Mhm.
in Blackboard, instead of having to go log into Blackboard to check this stuff and have it like have it pushed to your phone. Just say, professor adds a new assignment, have that hit your phone right up, and you know
Well,
or new information, new updates to the course.
well, I overheard
Mhm.
today one professor was talking to a group of students that were involved with this activity. I won't mention what it is, so that way we'll save the anonymity. And basically, this professor was like saying, you need to get on the Facebook group, whatever it was. That's how you're gonna find out all this information about blah 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 blah. And here it is. And the person that was saying it, I mean, really, I know personally has very little tech skills, and this person is advocating them going on this Facebook group to so they get informed instantaneously and whatnot. So it really is really the paradigm has greatly changed in so many ways, especially when I think back for me designing classes with HTML, online classes with HTML myself, and I'm okay at it, but I'm the first to tell you I'm not an expert at HTML or graphic design or anything. I can see it. I can see it actually being used very well for that, pushing that there, and so forth. For me, what I mainly use my iPhone for is, I mean, my iPod Touch is I can check my email very quickly. So if there's something important, I honestly I don't type more than a few letters on the on my iPhone. I'm just not quick enough doing it that way. So I can just hop onto a computer and get on there and log on if I need to. Or I know I need to answer that the next time I'm on a real computer. And it is convenient to have that for students. So I get something from a student and I say, well, okay, I can answer this real quick, or I can wait an hour until I get to a real computer and I can actually type it in there. So that's the main uses I use it for, as well as looking at some quick information on
And if you
Wikipedia.
had like nice BlackBerry keyboard, you could
Well,
yeah.
how fast can you type on that? Meet on your iPhone versus the BlackBerry.
I've actually gotten pretty good at typing on the iPhone, but it took a little while to
Maybe
get used to the fact
maybe
there's no tactile feedback.
the next cast will have a Twitter off. We can see who can type the most stuff to Twitter during the cast.
Well, I see students on their phones, like going mad. I'm thinking, man, there's no way in the world I'd ever want to learn how to do that on a phone. Text messages on a phone is like, golly.
Well, the thing I'd say about the text messaging and all that on the phone, it's nice because invasive communication. I was a big opponent of text messaging until I started doing it. Of course, I was a big opponent of cell phones until I started having one.
Yeah, I
So,
remember that. Well, you didn't get a cell phone
Yeah, I
at the
remember
end.
that. You were like the only guy who didn't have a cell phone. You were like, yeah, people can just come over.
Yeah, and you know what? People did come over.
Well, you only got it
But
when you graduated, so you can get jobs, basically, right?
yeah, I mean, I didn't see the reason why anybody needed to contact me at any point at any time, any
Well,
day.
well, I'm a mean
Now I
teacher.
see the point.
Well, I'm a mean teacher. I basically tell the class I don't want to see the cell phones out. If you absolutely got a text
Hmm.
message, absolutely need to go out and make a phone call. You leave the class and you come back in when you're ready to learn.
Hmm.
And for
Hmm.
me, I know it's just a visceral reaction. Someone sends you a message, you want to check it. You want to send them out a message. Then you get to the point, why are you even in the class? If you're not listening to what I'm saying, if you're not having feedback with me, what's the point of being there? And I know a lot of people argue, well, that way I can discreetly send a message. Well, I'm not saying you can't use it. Just go outside, and when you're done, come back in. And hopefully that'll speed you up a little bit so you can take care of your business. It's kind of like opening up a candy wrapper in an auditorium. Just do it quickly.
Yeah.
Get it over with. And then pop it in your mouth, and then that way you're not bothering everybody.
Well,
that's
anyway, what I was going to bring up, so let's get back onto the cell phone topic of in education. Well, I guess you were still on that topic, but one thing I was going to say that I really liked about these new
Herb was doing
smartphone
the
devices.
"you kids get off my lawn" version of that topic.
Well, one thing I'm liking about these devices, it just has to do with just software development in general, is that they really have to pay attention to user experience and user interface. Herb, you've got the iPhone Touch, or you've got the iPod Touch, which is much like the iPhone, but if you look at the Facebook application on it, it's pretty usable. It's very streamlined. You can get to where you need to quickly. You have your notifications really quickly. And I can see that just from a general software perspective, that's the paradigm people have to follow. I mean, they're quick, concise, easy to use, and just efficient. I mean, I'm right now navigating all through Facebook and also tweeting about this cast as I talk to you. So I'm one of the bad students, right, Herb?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm sure text messaging is still going on. I can't be everywhere. Man, today I caught kids analog text messaging. You know what that is? They're writing notes. They were writing notes. I guess the people are analog text messaging right now, and I'm like, see, they think I don't know. I know when you're doing stuff. It depends if I want to call you out or not. Well,
Say, get off my lawn! That's my lawn. I worked on it.
Okay, that's the title of this episode now. Get off my lawn episode.
well, I really do believe that if you're there mentally, be there. If you're not there mentally, go do something else. And
Just get the hell off my lawn.
But the thing about it is, and I'm going to take this from a work perspective, right? I constantly am in meetings where I have to be there at the meeting and really pay attention, but I also have to be able to keep up with my email because emergencies occur.
Yeah.
So, and I guess as students, if they can manage that whole crosstalk or multitasking thing, that'll help them out in the future. I mean, at least in the business world that I work in.
I think that's something we're going to have a whole podcast on multitasking, the pros and cons of it. Because I guess I could be checking my email too, or poking people on Facebook while I'm teaching. But
the thing is,
Or playing World of Warcraft.
There's a judicious use of it, right? I mean, the idea that you should be there trying to learn, but you should only, glance at your BlackBerry, iPhone, smartphone device is when it's appropriate, and not use it. Like a lot of kids, when I was helping, I was a substitute for information technology class up in Minnesota. I saw a lot of the kids up there sitting there surfing the net the whole day on their laptops. Whereas when you're in the real world, if you get your laptop open, odds are you have to be working on real work. I mean, you can't. Eventually, you'll have to spend the time on the real work, right?
Well,
So,
this is one tip for the folks out there, because I play I play videos and play music in my classes. So when I have a CD in there, what I do is I walk around, and like the students look at me like I'm crazy. I mean, not so much crazy, but they realize I'm walking around, and I'm walking around for a couple of reasons. One is to kind of see what's going on, and
mhm.
that way I can make sure the solitaire games are not being played on the laptops or whatnot like that. Um,
So that right there, when I was doing the couple days of substituting, that right there was the thing that aggravated me the most. 'Cause that doesn't fly in the real world. And
well, what happened last Friday? Uh,
They should be playing a real game like Mahjong. The hell, solitaire?
well, what happened also, like on
you know
Friday,
what?
the
Fire
music
up some
department
Tetris or something.
the music department went wireless
Get the hell
internet,
off my lawn.
and so now the kids that have account to the school can now have open internet now. So I know for
Mhm.
sure what they're going to be doing if they have a laptop open, and they're going to be Facebooking or whatever else. Which again, I don't have a problem with that at all. It's just that if I'm talking or teaching, uh, I want them to give me some feedback. I mean, I might as well just be talking to myself then at that point. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
wrong. Maybe in a couple of years I'll say, you know what? Text message to your heart content. Matter of fact, you have to text message in here. You must text message people.
Hey, you can make
Well,
them
I mean,
do comments on your videos while the
Oh.
class is going on. That's the only
I think that
acceptable form of goofing off.
I think I think that the system will have to change around it, right? We'll have to adapt, right? I mean, I could see personally if it got to the point where everybody had some sort of smartphone device or some sort of text messaging receiving or text receiving device, make use of it in class, you know, just randomly or have it set up so that you could send questions to students directly through the text feed,
Yeah,
like randomly through the class period.
yeah. Once everybody has that, I mean, like for me, if you send me a text message, it costs me 20 cents. Every time you send me, if you want to start charging me money, send me text messages. 5 text messages, that's
Yeah.
$1. I'm gonna get mad.
No, what I'm saying is that you can make that as part of the lesson plan. If all your students have some sort of device that texts, you can just you can set up some sort of system to randomly do other class to just make sure they're paying attention. Text their phone with a question, and multiple choice question. You respond with an answer, and that makes them have to be engaged.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
I don't disagree with that.
Kind of a pop quiz idea.
If we had that, like if everybody had like some type of iPhone type thing, and we could Twitter stuff. I mean, they can make comments, and I can do like the CNN thing, kind of read through it. All right, so and so has asked this question here, or so and so asked this question here, or someone has this comment that's insightful.
Yeah,
And you know
yeah.
what?
Or
It's probably not that far away.
mhm. I think that, I mean, yeah, I think that you're right in many respects, Herb, in that students really shouldn't be multitasking that much in your class, right? They shouldn't be on your lawn.
Well, I know this. They're drawing pictures of airplanes. I know this. They're
Oh,
drawing
yeah.
stars or whatever. I know that's going on.
But, I'm sure that's the first time kids were bringing notebooks into class to write on notes or write their notes down. They were writing love letters to other students or something, right?
I'm not
The
going to
way
disagree with
educating
that.
is adopted.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're absolutely right on that account.
So,
Well,
I don't know.
awesome.
What are your thoughts over there, Dan? Oh, silent
I,
one
th-
in
I
the
think
dark.
I think we beat the subject to death.
That's what we do here on Row. We take a subject and just keep on, keep on. Dan, on one of your notes I actually found fascinating was the possible closure of Microsoft's Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I found an article on that. Apparently, Microsoft is discontinuing that. I think this is part of a larger job cut thing that they're doing. They're cutting like 5,000 jobs or something. Uh, You can check the article. We'll post that about that. But one of the divisions they're cutting is the group that works on the Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I think like maybe they're talking about spinning it off or selling it to like somebody or something like that. But yeah, Microsoft's not going to work on it anymore.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't know how much better it can get. I mean, it's already kind of at the point that like we were talking a little bit before the show started that basically pilots use that software to log on hours before they actually fly in real planes. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
flight simulator, and you can actually build a fake cockpit in your house and basically fly a plane there and go fly from Texas to Boston or wherever you're going to fly to, and do it in real time actually.
Hmm.
So a lot of folks have a lot of pilots have learned how to fly, and a lot of pilots have maintained their flying skills with that piece of software. So it's definitely if it goes away, I can't see it going away 100%. If not, somebody else will come in with a product that's similar to it because it is very useful for pilots.
Yeah.
Well, that's about a good 20 minutes there, gentlemen. Any other comments y'all want to say?
Yeah, I got a couple last topics that I kind of looked up. I thought were interesting and I wanted to talk about. Um, one was the Zune I guess was posting
The what?
the Zune
What's that?
was posting like record losses for the second quarter this year.
What?
Um,
Um,
I
Well,
guess that's
the
enough to
thing
say
is,
about that.
when all of every single Zune failed on the same day, and nobody knew why, and then nobody nobody from Microsoft could figure out that, oh, just wait a day and it'll get fixed. You know, I think your market share is going to go down a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, it's yeah, and I also found a really neat article about a pair, I guess a couple of viruses that are really like I guess they're Trojan horses that are affecting Macs. And these
hmm.
are Trojan horses that are actually embedded in bootleg copies of Photoshop. So people that are torrenting Photoshop, apparently there's a couple of viruses that are affecting those applications.
Don't copy that floppy.
Um, and
Yeah,
so this
don't
was sort
copy
of
that copy.
like kind of a wake up call for two things. One is that I guess these are pretty severe viruses, and they sort of join like a growing list of viruses that affect Macs. And so as Macs become more and more popular and they get more and more market share, the threat of viruses is going up. So
Well, the one thing that's
uh,
different about Mac versus XP and even Vista, for you to install anything that's uh, bad, you actually have to type in the password on a Macintosh, on OS 10.
Vista does that now too, sort of. I don't know,
Well,
but
okay.
it at least requires a click. I don't know, but
Well, most people I know who've got Vista, to become effective users of it, they have to really.
I lost you there. What'd you say, Nate?
Yeah, say it one more time, me.
Oh, I said that most people I know who use Vista to become effective users of Vista on a day-to-day operations basis, they have to turn off all the extra security functions. So
Yeah.
it's great that you have security, but if it's not seamless and easy to use, it kind of, it's like having a security alarm that you never turn on in your house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, just something to be aware of for the Mac users out there.
well,
I mean, a lot of people quote that axiom. There are no viruses for the Mac, and I think that's one not true, and then two, I think it's going to become less true. Um, I would agree that it's probably always going to be more secure than any Windows operating system, very likely. But I still feel like people just running around saying just like there's no viruses, and it's not true.
well,
There are.
I haven't ran an antivirus piece of software on my Macs for Man, really it hasn't been since OS 9, OS 8. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been 8 years, maybe more than that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what it sounds like to me, if it is in a
It
bootleg
might be
version of
it might be time.
well, if it is in a bootleg version of a Photoshop, I guess when you double click it to install, you're installing the bootleg version of Photoshop as well as that Trojan on there.
That's correct.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
if you still got to install it yourself, it sounds like.
Yes.
Mhm.
In this particular case, though, I bet I could probably find other instances where you don't have to do that.
You know, that just says don't pirate software. Keep me in a job.
Yeah, we love programmers.
And I got one last little bit of information. Apparently, PC Mag posted an article saying that we've officially reached the 1 billion people in the internet mark. I
Wow.
don't know.
Yep. So the internet is now the 15th largest country in the world.
And like the world, most of them are Asians.
Wow. You
Which
heard
is
it here
something
on Road first.
that's actually something the article was stating, was that most of them were Asian. So I don't know if they consider if they're lumping in India with Asia, right? Because it's South Asia, right? I don't know.
Yeah, India, South Asia. Good geography.
Huh?
Public school education.
Well,
And I have my SFA education.
a billion people
I didn't go to SFA.
on the internet. Wow.
Yeah. Who would imagine that? I remember the olden days where there was a couple of geeks in a basement somewhere saying, "Oh yeah, I can hook up onto ARPA."
Well, like real quick, we're running out of time. But today I talked about how to use the internet to find information, and I said, well, what do you use? And then some people said Google and this, that, and the other. And one student said, well, I can't find nothing, and everything's just a bunch of junk on it. Well, I said, well, let me show you how to use a search engine, how to use quotes and how to use the plus and minuses and all that fun stuff. And I'm
Did you show
actually
them the only site they ever need to know, herbertdisley.com?
I think I came up with I did the vanity search of myself just to show them how many hits you get by putting my name in quotes and not putting it in quotes. I mean, he cuts it down a lot by putting my name in quotes.
Alrighty. Well, that's a good cast, I think.
I think so. Well, Amit, why don't you end it for us like you always do?
Well, I just wanted to, I guess I should end it with the normal. You can reach us on our website, returnofwhatever.com, or reach us via email at returnofwhatever@gmail.com, and subscribe to our Twitter feed or tweet, which is Return of Whatever. No ER. Unfortunately, we hit the limit on their naming there. So it's RETURNOFWHATEVE. Whatever. All right. Also, I did want to give a quick shout out to the creators of yeah,
It's,
of Extender. They saw our podcast and they were pretty happy that we mentioned them last week.
it's a good
And
product.
they're growing pretty big. They post on the website, and also a shout out to longtime fan John. John was one of the fans back in the old days. He was on the show a couple times. He I think worked over in the I think RPI or so, also in educational technology. So, John, nice to see you back, and tell your friends.
All right.
Well, I'm Amit Dedia.
I'm Daniel Nelson.
And I'm Herbert Midgley.
See you next week.
Get off the lawn.
Get off the lawn!